We're tracking the tropics as we're watching for potential development in the Caribbean. We also talk about if we could see impacts and bring an update on Colorado State's hurricane season outlook. And we're just 5 days away from fall. That's September 22nd. We talk about the best practices for planting those fall gardens. And we're going beyond the atmosphere as we prepare for tonight's partial lunar eclipse. We talk about the best time to catch it and how long it'll last.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm meteorologist Tania Michelle. It's so great to have you all here. Hopefully you have been enjoying the sunshine as much as I have. We'll continue to see lots of sunshine throughout the rest of your week. But before we talk about that 7-day forecast, let's talk about the next big thing. Let's get right to it, guys. Right now we're watching dry conditions across the area. Really lots of sunshine for everyone. We did see a few isolated showers earlier this afternoon, but that's not the case right now. We're going to hold on to those dry conditions throughout the rest of your evening. The next big thing that we're tracking is this northerly wind, really, that's bringing us these pleasant conditions starting now through the rest of your week. Very settled, quiet weather pattern. I'm not complaining, and hopefully you aren't either. We've got northerly winds right now, just around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperature is steadily decreasing, but feeling nice. 70s to the east, still more of those 80s to the west. 86 in Tuscaloosa, 87 in Pickens County, mid 80s in Marion, 75 though in Clay. Low 80s in Tallapoosa. Beautiful evening for some outdoor festivities and maybe the Alabama State Fair. I was just talking to our producer of the show and we were like, hey, the fair would be something fun to do. Maybe not this evening, but in the days ahead, this weekend, the weather will be perfect for it. We'll see temperatures just around 7 o'clock in the upper 70s by 9 p.m. low 70s, holding on to mostly clear night skies. Out the door for your Wednesday, more sunshine, guys. We'll start off the morning with temperatures in the low 60s. A light northerly wind will continue again, shifting out of the northwest though by tomorrow late afternoon. We'll see highs Wednesday afternoon reaching the 80s. Some areas mid 80s. I definitely think that West Alabama areas closer to I-2059 will likely see temperatures closer to the upper 80s, if not low 90s. So still very warm afternoons all across the area. But those mild mornings will be nice for a morning cup of coffee, maybe outside, a morning stroll or run, whatever it is that you want to do. Here's a look at those weather headlines. So we've got a quiet weather week this week. Pleasant afternoons, again, highs in the 80s and plentiful sunshine in the days ahead. We're going to take a look at that 7-day forecast for our next chance of rain in just a little bit. But get this. It's a double celestial event tonight. You don't want to miss it. A full supermoon and partial lunar eclipse will be visible and the sky conditions will be perfect. The moon will not only appear brighter, but larger as well as it approaches the closest point to Earth. According to NASA, the shadow will start to appear around 7:40 p.m. That's right after this show, local time, and will peak 2 hours later. Even though only 8% of the moon will be covered, you'll have a chance to experience a full lunar eclipse in March of 2025. And scan the QR code right here on your screen. You can download the First Alert Weather app if you don't have it already. You'll download it to your mobile device. And if you catch a glimpse of the partial lunar eclipse, don't forget to upload it for a chance to be featured right here on First Alert Weather Extra. All right, we're going to take you now across America where cleanup is happening in North Carolina, and the process is really just ongoing. This once in a 1,000-year precipitation event left widespread and damaging flooding, as we mentioned yesterday. Emergency services were swamped with calls for assistance as residents, especially in smaller coastal towns, were trapped due to rising water levels. One resident shares his experience with this system.
It was lightning, the wind was blowing so hard you wouldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden I heard it. I haven't seen it this flooded since Florence.
The low will continue to slowly move north across the Carolinas towards the mid-Atlantic over the next day. Now, meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us with an update on the Atlantic hurricane season and what we're currently tracking. Take a look.
Well, we got through Francine. Gordon that formed out in the Atlantic is now no longer anything today. So this is the list, and our next storm up is Helene. And we were thinking that could have formed in the Carolinas a few days ago, but just failed to develop tropical characteristics. So let's talk about what to expect as we finish out September, make our way in October. So the peak of the season's already occurred. September 10th is when it's usually at the peak, but still can get very active in September, even in the October months. But notice by November, activity gets pretty limited. You may see maybe one or two named storms between November 1st and November 30th. And of course, the hurricane season officially ends as we go into December 1st. So here's a look at the tropical update, and not much happening. Everything's pretty quiet right now. Now, I will note that there is what's left of Gordon. It's no longer a tropical depression or storm, but this orange shaded area, what they're looking at is maybe as it moves up to the north, it could be in a more favorable environment and develop. But besides Gordon and what's left of it, the rest of the Atlantic is quiet. So what can we expect going into September? Well, normally September is one of our active months. We can see anything form off the Atlantic, near the Caribbean, and of course into the Gulf of Mexico. That's where it's most likely. And there's a chance we may see tropical development form in the Caribbean or into the Gulf of Mexico sometime next week. So I've highlighted a very large area. I've seen several models showing some type of tropical system developing. I'm not going to show you those models right now because they just show different solutions every time they develop and run. So I'm just highlighted an area that we're going to be watching. Nothing to worry about this week or this weekend, but as we go towards September 24th through the 28th, so the middle part of next week, we may see an area of low pressure form in the Western Caribbean, and a lot of models are showing it lifting up to the north, maybe impacting the Eastern Gulf, but we'll just have to wait and see. It looks like those conditions are going to be more favorable, lots of moisture developing, area low pressure, and then of course you can get a tropical depression or tropical storm to form. Today, Colorado State issued their 2-week tropical outlook between now and September 30th. So as we finish out the month, the odds of seeing an above average activity for those next 2 weeks looks kind of low at 10%, but they are forecasting about a 50% chance of seeing near average conditions. So usually if September is pretty active, can't rule out one or two systems developing, and that's what it's looking like. We could see Gordon redevelop, and we may see something form in the Western Caribbean, and then the odds of seeing a below average activity over the next 2 weeks at 40%. So I'll take these odds over, say, 60% chance of above average activity for the next 2 weeks. But we'll be here watching it. Of course, you can monitor the tropics through the WBRC First Alert weather app.
Thanks, Matt. And in Texas, one of the largest earthquakes in the state's history impacted the state just last night. The 5.1 magnitude earthquake striking about 30 miles to the north of Midland. But get this. It was felt as far north as Amarillo and as far south as San Antonio, which is about 500 miles. It was ranked amongst the 5 strongest earthquakes to hit the state, with a magnitude 6.0 being the biggest that struck in 1931. Thankfully, there were no immediate reports of damage. But in California, firefighters continue to battle 3 separate wildfires. Fox News' Jonathan Hunt is in Los Angeles with the latest.
Firefighting efforts in Southern California are getting a much-needed boost from Mother Nature. Officials say increased humidity, lower temperatures, and rain are helping firefighters gain ground against 3 separate wildfires.
We're being helped by the weather, and that weather will continue for a couple of days, so we're making good progress.
More than 8,000 personnel have been fighting the fires across multiple fronts. The largest, the Bridge Fire, which exploded in the Angeles National Forest east of LA last week, has burned dozens of buildings and forced more than 10,000 people to evacuate.
Couldn't even see the neighbor's house from the smoke. It was so thick.
In the San Bernardino Mountains, the Line Fire continues to burn. Officials say the fire was just over 1/3 contained as of Sunday. A delivery driver has been arrested and charged with deliberately starting the fire. In Orange and Riverside counties, the airport fire also continues to burn. That fire was started by a spark from heavy equipment. Crews say in each of these fires, their work is made much tougher by the mountainous landscape.
Again, very challenging terrain in there, cliff faces and granite and things that we just can't go quickly on.
And even with the cooler temperatures, officials warn that with so much dry vegetation in the wake of a long, hot summer, the risk of more fires remains high. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
Well, in 30 seconds, we're bringing it back home as you prepare those fall gardens. We talk about the best practices for you right here after the break. Welcome back in, everyone. I'm First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle, and let me help you out. If you want to make some plans this week to enjoy the beautiful weather, there's an event happening at the Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater in Tuscaloosa. Not tonight. That's why it's pretty empty. We've got current conditions out there in the upper 80s, north-northeast wind just around 7 miles per hour. Dew point's pretty low there in the low 60s, but this is the event that's not tonight. It's actually Friday night, 7 p.m. again at the Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater in Tuscaloosa. Cody Jinks is going to be having a concert, so go and get your boogie on. Temperatures are going to start off in the low 90s. Lots of sunshine for your Friday. I mean, it's going to be such a beautiful, hot day, to be honest. Low 80s around 6 p.m., upper 70s around 7 o'clock. You're definitely going to make sure you stay hydrated, bring some water maybe, and wear your sunscreen. But maybe concerts aren't your thing and you want to go have some thrill. Head out to the Alabama State Fair this weekend. This is the last weekend, I believe. It ends the 22nd, which is the first day of fall. We're going to see lots of sunshine both your Saturday and your Sunday. Temperatures Saturday afternoon warming into the upper 80s, closer to the mid 80-degree mark around Sunday afternoon, but both beautiful days with mostly sunny skies. The Alabama State Fair is at the Birmingham Racecourse, and we'll see light east-northeasterly winds generally both your Saturday and into your Sunday. So great weekend to be outdoors. Maybe the fair is not where you want to be. The football forecasts look great too. Starting Friday for Sideline. High school football, low 80s, clear skies. Saturday, lots of sunshine. Southern Miss is going to take on Jacksonville State. Temperatures at 2 p.m. in the upper 80s. Lots of sunshine at the Auburn game. Arkansas is taking on Auburn. Temperatures at that 2:30 kickoff at 86 degrees. But with these beautiful conditions expected for the rest of the week, meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us now with how you can prepare your garden for the upcoming season.
I'm here at Jones Valley Teaching Farm with none other Farmer Jess, and we're going to be talking about fall plants, fall food that you can plant, and of course what is good to plant during this time of year. So Farmer Jess, I'm going to have you take it away. What are we looking at right now?
Yeah, so we are out in our community garden right now, and we have already planted, our community members have already planted these beds for the fall. And fall crops really, like generally speaking, are going to be greens and roots. So these things thrive in cooler weather, and actually in our climate, you can take them, some of them all the way through until the following spring. So what we're looking at here is a mixture of kale, bok choy, collard greens, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all of which are in the same plant family actually. So there's this plant family called brassicas that all are originally derived from the cabbage.
Now, I mean, we're talking about fall, but can people at home plant this at a different time of year and then they sprout during the fall, or is it best to plant it in the coming months?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It's a common misconception that people wait to plant their fall crops until it cools down, but actually it's best to plant them while it's still a little hot. You want the plants to get some good growth on them from that heat, and then they'll be large once it starts to get cold, and they'll be more able to withstand frost. So really you want to start planting fall crops as early as end of July, and really you don't want to plant any fall crops later than like early October.
Well, check this out. We're gonna go to Brazil because they're heading to the skies to help plant trees. Seeding drones are being used in Rio de Janeiro to help drop tree seeds and get trees to sprout up where deforestation has taken place. Authorities say the drones speed up the planting and that planting process and help assess hard to reach areas and hillsides in the city. The new trees will help in lowering temperatures and preventing landslides. Locals want to plant 1 million trees which will be seen in 2 to 5 years. Well, still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we're going to talk about the forecast for the rest of your week. Take a look at that 7-day. We're going to also take a look at some of your gorgeous weather photos and beyond the 7-day right here after the break. Welcome back in, everyone. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Tania Michelle. Here's a look at that super 7-day forecast. Over the next several days, your weather is going to be very quiet, very settled weather pattern. Highs in the 80s, overnight temps in the 60s. As we look at the next 24 hours or so, let's walk through it together. We'll see a few passing clouds for our eastern counties throughout your evening, but staying dry throughout the night tonight. Here we are at 10 p.m. Temperatures at that point in the 70s area wide. Overnight, though, we'll cool off to see temperatures starting off in the 60s as we bring in your Wednesday morning. It's going to be hump day, but a beautiful hump day. Lots of sunshine. 6 o'clock again, starting off in the 60s, but by lunchtime, we'll see temperatures already in the 80s, low 80s for our eastern counties, mid to upper 80s to the west. We could see some low 90s tomorrow afternoon, especially down south and west on along I-2059. A few passing clouds, but really mostly sunny skies all across the area. Here we are by 5 p.m., really heating up there. I saw 89 89 in Demopolis, but we really could reach 90 degrees in some spots, like I mentioned, south and west. By the time we reach your Wednesday night, just around 11 p.m., many of you probably going to bed, if not going to work for that late night shift. I know about that too. We've got temperatures in the 70s at that point. Very, very comfortable night. We'll see temperatures dipping down into the 60s as we bring in your early Thursday morning. Let's talk more about those Thursday morning temperatures. Some spots might cool off into the lower 60s, but many of us will see temperatures starting off in the upper 60s, 66 in Fayette, 64 there in Walker County, 66 in Anniston, 65 in not Pickens County, that's Clay County, Lineville. But over the next several days, again, lots of sunshine. I do want to show you what those rain chances look like as we bring in next week. We could see a little disturbance moving through that could bring us a few showers around by Tuesday, if not Wednesday, and really into Thursday. But we still have several days until we see that next chance for rain. So enjoy that sunshine, make some weekend plans to enjoy the outdoors and soak in some vitamin D. As we take you beyond the 7-day, you'll be able to see here that rain chance is noted. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I do think we could see some rain chances as early as your Tuesday. Next weekend, though, doesn't look too bad. Temperatures next week slightly cooler, though. We're watching temps in the lower 80s. But all right, we love to show off your lovely photos, especially when they are pictures of your coloring skills. Check out this photo submitted by Grady. It's so cute. He almost colored all the way in the lines. I'm so proud of you, Grady. Thank you so much for sending in that picture. Be sure to visit WBRC.com/Color the Weather, where we have different color sheets for the different seasons. You can submit these online or through the First Alert Weather app so that we can share them and you can be featured right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Something fun to do this weekend too. Take out some crayons, some markers, some paint maybe, and color the weather. But people in Arizona began returning home Monday after evacuation orders related to the Siphon Fire were lifted. The fire has burned more than 15,000 acres. Lillian Donahue has more.
The damage from the Siphon Fire goes all the way up towards State Route 88. And now, while firefighter crews do have a handle on this fire now, they are still out here today monitoring the situation and making sure nothing gets worse.
I am super stoked the road is open.
For lovers of Canyon Lake, the reopening of Route 88 is music to their ears.
Just an hour out of Phoenix, and we have this beautiful recreation area.
Those who live nearby watched as the Siphon Fire grew close late last week.
I woke up a couple times in the night making sure the fire wasn't coming.
And for the owner of Tortilla Flat,
that's probably the most nervous I've ever been.
Lifted evacuation orders, a massive relief.
I couldn't be happier.
But the feeling is bittersweet, knowing the Siphon Fire has burned more than 15,000 acres of precious land.
It's a lot of blackness and it's dark. It's very sad because I love hiking in the Superstition Mountain.
Ryan Cody showing the scary images from his vantage point in Tortilla Flat Thursday.
That was fairly out of control.
While he lost a weekend of business,
that becomes the least of your worries. Honestly, you just want to stay alive.
He's now hoping any burn scars don't turn into water slides for rain in the area, as a fire led to flooding here years ago.
There was no vegetation, and this whole place just flooded. We lost 3 or 4 days of just pure flooding.
The overwhelming sentiment here now, gratitude.
We saw people from Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and I believe Colorado. It's a huge debt of gratitude for those guys for what they did.
Thanks to the fast acting crew members it could save some houses, could save some lives.
Officials say the fire was human caused and is still under investigation. Reporting near Canyon Lake, Lillian Donahue, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to have more right here on First Alert Weather Extra after the break, and we're showing those lovely viewer pictures. We'll be right back. Mute. Unmute. Let's unmute. Okay. All right, everyone, welcome back in. We have some lovely viewer photos to show. This one from our good friend Ryan Carty. Sunrise over Georgia, absolutely stunning. Eric Brown giving some sideline vibes as he took that picture of a sunset at the Oak Mountain Field. Oh, absolutely beautiful there. We have some more beautiful puffy clouds from Dwight Browning. Love that photo. Looks like he was out and about. And a rainbow from Shannon Webb. Rainbow at Panama City Beach. What a great place to be, especially this weekend. Looking good there. Shell sent this one in. This was fog in a city here, and it looks like some areas might have gotten some fog out there. We did have some potential fog possibilities this morning. Well, we'll have more forecast updates for you tonight, first at 9. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. All right, I think the 7-day is up, so I'll be ready when you're ready. Is that Kimberlyn? Oh, your voice sounded different. Bye, girl. All right, let's do this in, get my necklace right, in 3, 2, Hey there, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle here. Lots of sunshine as we take a look at that super 7-day forecast. We'll see highs in the 80s, overnight temps in the 60s. Very beautiful fall-like conditions, really. The afternoons will be pretty warm, but we have mild evenings, mild mornings, perfect for evening strolls, early morning walks. Get some yard work done throughout this week, maybe even wash your car. We are tracking some rain chances for the middle of next week, but hey, you've got sunshine at least over the next 5 to 6 days. So get out and enjoy it and soak in some vitamin D. If you're looking for more updates on that next chance of rain, we'll have them for you. You can always check in with us on the WBRC First Alert weather app.